Hi everybody, it's Cassie here. We are in Oakland today. We are heading into Sprouts to recreate Direct Action Everywhere's first ever protest from 10 years ago in January 2013, where activists, a small group at that time, but many people today, are delivering a slam poem for a protest for animals in the Sprouts grocery store. Let me turn this around. I'm just gonna be silent while we walk in. So we actually all walked in different little groups, different clusters, so that we wouldn't all be walking in at once. And I just came in with the last group. So very soon we are going to get together for this poem. I'm really excited to see how it plays out. Please share the live stream if you're watching. Please join the full live stream. I'm really excited to see this slam poem, which we're going to deliver right here inside of Sprouts, and then we will continue the protest outside as well. We also have a birthday party happening after the protest, so if you're in the Bay Area and you want to come out and join us in Oakland for the 10th anniversary birthday party for DxE, then please do. And however long you've been involved, whether it's 10 days or all 10 years or somewhere in between, thank you for being part of DxE.
Now bloody, their bodies lie.
In torment they died.
Together we fight.
To ensure that their life
is honored as was their right.
In darkness they cried.
in torment they died.
Now bloody their bodies lie.
Together we fight.
To ensure that their lives is honored as was their right.
In darkness they cried.
In torment they died. Now bloody their bodies lie. Together we fight to ensure their life is honored as was their right.
Direct action everywhere.
It starts with you.
Across nations and continents, from all cultures and creeds, we're speaking with one voice behind a simple message that every animal has an equal right to be safe, happy, and free. And every year, in more cities and activists are standing up and speaking out. And one day, whether it is 10 years or 100 years from now, every single animal will be safe, happy, and free. Animal liberation is already happening. If you don't believe me, let me tell you what the incredible faces standing next to me have fought with their blood, sweat, and tears. In the last decade, we have walked inside of hundreds of factory farms and slaughterhouses. We have documented gruesome footage of innocent animals suffering. With our own eyes, we have seen these animals languishing in their own feces, in their own blood. With our own ears, we have heard their brutal cries of help. And with our hands, we have carried those animals to safety and sanctuary. We have won some incredible victories. We have banned the sale of fur, and not just that. Just recently, my friends Wayne Shung and Paul Darwin Picklesheimer were recently acquitted in a historic case where they were facing decades in prison for rescuing 2 sick and dying baby piglets from the largest pig facility in the world. And a jury of 8 people in a conservative state of Utah found them not guilty. Whether you like it or not, animal liberation is happening now. Look at the bodies of animals inside of these packages in the meat department. What we are looking at is a reflection of a brutal and gruesome past. The atrocities that are happening against these animals will be looked back in horror. But today, everybody has a choice to join us in a winning movement. And in order to win faster, it starts with you taking direct action everywhere. So join us as we fight for a world we know is going to come true. A world where every animal is safe and happy and free. And say it with me when I say, what do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
Now!
Are we going to fight for it?
Yes!
Are we going to get it?
Yes!
Are we already winning?
Yes!
What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
Now!
Animals' lives are their right.
We will not give up this fight!
Animals' lives are their right.
We will not give up this fight!
Animals' lives are their right.
We will not give up this fight!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
Animals feel pain.
Just like us!
Animals suffer.
Just like us!
Animals want to live.
Just like us!
Animals deserve to live.
Just like us!
It's not food.
It's violence!
It's not food.
It's violence!
It's not food.
It's violence!
Animals feel pain.
Just like us!
Animals want to live.
Just like us!
Animals want to be free.
Just like us!
Animals want to be happy.
Just like us!
Animals deserve to be happy.
Just like us!
So we are here at Sprouts in Oakland, California, and we are recreating Direct Action Everywhere's very first protest from 10 years ago, January 2013. It's now January 2023. The decade has flown by. I've been involved for 7 of those 10 years. I wasn't there for the first protest, so I'm excited that I've had the opportunity to participate in its recreation today. And I'm so thankful to everybody who's been supporting DxE along the way, whether that's before I got involved. Thank you for paving the way for me to be inspired by DxE and get involved in this amazing work for animals. Or if it's afterwards, send a thank you to whoever inspired you to get involved in animal rights, and especially DxE, and to support DxE. And thank you, Carmen, for sharing. Let me see who else. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing. Some of you are always supporting us with all our actions that we live stream, so thank you for your dedication and constant support, helping us get the message out there for animals. There's roles for everyone, whether that's going inside grocery stores like Sprouts that perpetuate the humane myth and profit off of the exploitation and murder of animals, or if it's sharing and boosting online, or talking to your friends, your family, your colleagues, bringing up the work that DxE is doing that the right to rescue cases, the investigations, the trial in Utah that we just won for Wayne and Paul, bringing these stories forward, telling the stories of animals like Lily and Lizzie who have been rescued from Smithfield. We need the world to be talking about this. We need your help getting it out there. So thank you to everybody who's doing that. I hope you'll continue to do that with us over the coming decade. I can't believe the wins that we've had in just 10 years. I am so excited to see what we achieve in the next 10 years. And this banner is a work in progress, but let me show you this one here. This is our very old school style liberation for all. We're hearkening back to 10 years ago with our original placards. We still have the black and red for "It's Not Food, It's Violence" placards, but we're really throwing it back to these old school placards with names of individuals who were rescued. May was the first individual who was rescued through open rescue by DxE, May Hua.
Not ours! It's violence!
There are so many people here today. I have to look at the attendance to get the exact number, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had 100 people taking part today. We've got our audio people, we've got our leafleters, we've got all these folks with signs here, and we have people who are going to be delivering speeches soon, so stay tuned for the speak outs. And there's a lot of people out here listening to our message as well, right outside of the Starbucks and the other businesses here, so that's great. But you can help us reach even more people by sharing this live stream, so please click share, and if you do, comment that you're sharing, and I'll try to thank you if I see it. Better Science campaign shared. Thanks so much, whoever's moderating that page or running that page right now, for spreading the message, and thanks for the work that you're doing to end animal cruelty in science. Thank you, Amy, for sharing. So Jacob is going to deliver a poem here.
What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When we want it?
Now!
Are we gonna get it?
Yes!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
Same struggle, same fight.
Human freedom, animal rights!
Walk with us, wade through ocean tides, we'll keep our eyes open. Step with our footsteps, step in the muck, survey the ironclad battery cages arranged like a maze in which frantic sense is lost. Feel our arms hold the starved, the only bone, breaths weighing the world. Duck under the tunnel of pitchforks at our necks, for giving them life. For measuring the distance between wounds and the tombs that they'll lie in. We cut through these lies. We make a commotion. We save lives. And now we're condemned to lose our own for keeping our eyes open. Perspective taking is hard though, as is listening, especially to us annoying bunch. I mean, look at us. Imagine caring about something. Oh, but try and zip tie our hands instead. It's an art. Look at us straight up, right in our eyes wide open, our strength outspoken, it's an art too. Look at us with anger, it feels good. Spit on our hands, let us rub that shit, dirt deep in our pores, bathe in the lotion that feeds our passion, because we know your eyes won't open. Yell, bark even. Won't you, you cruel industry? Those carps of yours is an art. Is an art to us at least. Us bunch of activists, poets, saviors. It motivates. It leaves blankness, blank space, what you're avoiding, what you keep avoiding. Yell and bark, but you won't do anything else. Yeah, I dare you. Try to whine like a mother cow buckled in pain, a mother cow has her kid's necks marked up by chains choking him to a stall. Do it. Whine like having to deal with us activists is of the same pain as having your child stolen by a package-printed smile with eyes not open. Listen to the faint help wells of baby chicks too. Those millions tossed in blood blades before all that remains is their remains. Listen to pigs bang around and fight the walls with muscle fattened only for food. Oh, but you won't. Look at you. You can't even look at yourself. Your production's being seen as fake green though. Your corruption's in erosion. And even while you die, your eyes still won't open. Stock still as you are, you only budge to drag us down. You're stock still as lives are fried up, stock still as necks are cut and once loud lungs go quiet and gas chamber chokes that bleed into my voice crying out now. The only silent one is you, really. And you're so still. You know you are. We'll try to move you though. No, we will move you. We'll never shut up. We've seen the cry. We've seen what the cry of non-human is made of. We can't shut up after that. Yes, we'll keep standing at the fringes of suffering. We have heard deadened voices walk planks, their shrills rank, eyes deep red buttons that wish to shine in the sky they can never see. We have seen our classmates, confidants, our handheld family, our close ones, our leaders, our once look up to. We have seen them all sing promises with legs knee-deep in blood. We have seen them dance a bird's graceful sails, become whales as you shot them down. We have seen them wear silver silk belts, plumed party hats, laugh and pray under fish scale streamers, as if death was the mistletoe that humankind must love under, as if death was the token that gave humans life. We have seen this pain because we've kept our eyes open. Now they cannot close. Yes, our hearts are fully fledged to bear witness to the hells of hearts that can't bear anything, that even when beating can only beat froth and blood-black teats, can only clutch shaved-down teeth to the bars of prison cells. The centerpiece of life, hearts, is to your hard-held hands fit only for garbage. The warmth of life in cold, fallen corpses ruins the fun, after all, since you must not let your eyes open. But we, DxE, will fight to keep our eyes open. To open your eyes despite how much they'll wince. We'll ride together not on broken back horses, but on the backs of each other's love. We'll cry butterflies so we can hold ligaments. We'll sip cups of wishes and imagination so we can cure droughts. We'll share our love so we can plow through hate. We'll shake with the pain of awareness. But as a result, we'll see death not as the crux of life, but as what it really is. Together we'll show the world that death is death, not means to living. And we will not stop. We will not stop until we have saved all destined to die before they have really lived. So I dare you to fight us. I dare you to wage a war on peace. But you'll stay silent. In the end, you know that we'll win. Because for the sake of hope and progress, we'll pledge our lives for the broken. You'll feel our strength, and you'll let your eyes open. Thank you.
That was an amazing poem from Jacob, who is a DxE chapter member here in the SF Bay area, and a wonderful writer and speaker. So someone was asking what the protest is about. We are here at Sprouts, which is one of many grocery stores that sells the dead bodies of exploited and murdered animals. And they also market it as humane and sustainable and local and other such things. And so we were just inside the Sprouts grocery store, and now we're outside continuing our protest to let the world know that, as Carla just said, pigs and other animals feel pain. They don't want to die. It's not humane to kill them, to eat them. And we are part of a growing liberation movement for animals, and we want people to know that this movement exists. We want them to be empowered to get involved, to come join us to be part of making change for animals. So we're out here today with that hope, with this banner that says liberation for all. We also have it up here above the staircase, liberation for all.
Killing is no kindness. It's not food, it's violence. Freedom for all.
And we would love your support getting this message out there. It's actually kind of ironic. I just noticed that this Sprouts is right next to a Chipotle. And while we didn't go in the Chipotle today, Chipotle was one of the first places that DxE launched a campaign against. Chipotle and Whole Foods were two places that were targets of DxE's earliest campaigns against the humane myth, that there's a humane, kind way to kill someone who wants to live. And we had activists all over the world disrupting Chipotle, speaking out, saying it's not food, it's violence. If you've heard that one, that's the campaign that it came from.
And Sprouts not unlike this, that just a handful of us gathered up, and we made a promise to the animals and to each other. And that promise was a pretty simple one, that if we spoke our truth, the world would change. People laughed at us, they insulted us. If you watch the video, it's kind of funny. You got people shoving us, screaming at us, cursing at us. But not only did we meet that promise together, we've changed the world. But what was that promise? What was that truth that we said we were going to tell? It's a hard one, but I'm going to talk to you about it a little bit today and tell people on social media too, because it's important truth for all of us to know. And the truth is this, that there is a shadow, a darkness cast over our civilization. Most of us don't see it, and even those of us who see it, we try not to think about it too much, because it's a dark and scary shadow. But the shadow is this, that everywhere across the planet where non-human animals come into contact with our species, we take everything from them. We take their homes, we burn down the forest, and they flee in terror. We take their children. 10,000 years ago, we slipped a yoke over a cow or a dog's neck, turned these animals to slaves, and for the last 10,000 years, they've lived in fear of human violence. But just this last week, we learned one more horrific detail of what we have taken from these gentle creatures.
Thank you, Bernard, for sharing.
And what is the one thing that every living being, from the moment we come into this earth, what is the one thing we all need? The air we breathe. The air we breathe. So I know this very vividly and personally because a lot of you have heard I have a very sick cat. And honestly, it's been hard in the last year, watching him go blind, lose his kidney function. Just last week he was urinating blood and we rushed him to the ER, and I was scared that he was going to die. But I will tell you, the one moment over the last year and a half, struggling with little Joan, trying to keep him alive, where I was scared and terrified more than any other, was when I thought he had stopped breathing. Because every living being knows what it feels like to have the air taken from your lungs, to struggle desperately to get the one thing, the oxygen in the world around us that is vital to every life function we have. And what did we learn today? What did we learn today about Smithfield Foods and Costco and, yes, corporation like Sprouts? When they say they slaughter animals humanely, when they say they are giving animals a compassionate death, what they are actually doing is strangling billions upon billions of animals, taking the one thing they need more desperately than anything other for their life to sustain itself. They are taking this from the animals, blowing CO2 into their lungs that forms carbonic acid, burns their respiratory tract as they desperately scream and writhe in agony because they cannot breathe. And this agony, which Raven and DxE documented in excruciating detail, and Raven risked her own life to do this. She climbed down 25 feet into a slaughter shack to take hidden cameras inside the CO2 chamber. They do this to millions upon millions of animals in darkness. And they have the audacity, they dare to call this humane. This is the truth that we have shouted from rooftops, that we announce in grocery stores and restaurants. This is the truth that we are announcing to the world because we are desperate for you to see what we have seen. We are desperate for you to feel what we feel when we see our own little ones struggling to breathe. That desperation is a blight on this world. It is a darkness, a shadow. But what did we learn 10 years ago when we gathered at Sprouts? Just what was it, 7 of us, Priya? 7 or 8 of us. What did we learn about this darkness? We learned something else. Not only is there a shadow cast over human civilization, with billions upon billions of animals slaughtered in ways that are unimaginably horrific, but we learned that there is a solution to that darkness, to that shadow. And how do you fight? How do you fight the darkness, my friends?
Light.
You fight it with the light. You cast light on these horrors. You show the world what happens in the dark, and you show them that we can stop it. So it's particularly powerful for me to be here with Paul. Just a few months after a trial, just a few days after the legislature of Utah took some pretty disturbing and pitiful action. Because the 2 piglets we rescued from Smithfield Foods, they almost certainly would have ended up in a CO2 box. And they would have died just like all those poor little piglets we saw dying in the video footage DxE released this week. But they didn't die. And they didn't die because we walked in with cameras. We walked in with our flashlights and our headlamps. We showed the world what was unfolding inside that hellhole. And there's no other way to describe it. Inside that hellhole. And we took those little babies out and gave them air and food and water and the love that every living being on this earth deserves. And you know what happened when we cast light on what was unfolding inside that hellhole? What happened when we shined light on that darkness and gave aid to those animals instead of suffocating and strangling them? Gave them the love they deserved? A jury of our peers, conservative, rural, ordinary people, 8 individuals in the state of Utah said, "We agree. Let us rescue these creatures instead of strangling them. Let us care for them instead of tormenting them. Let us give every living being on this earth the right to be rescued and the right to be safe and happy and free." Those are important words for me. In my tradition of Buddhism, my family for thousands of years, or at least hundreds of years from what I understand, has repeated these words. And these words need to be repeated all over the world. And they're the second half of the truth that I said to you at the beginning of this talk. One part of the truth is there's a darkness cast over human civilization. And that is true. And it's scary, and it is an important part of the truth we must share with the world. But the other half of the truth is this, that when we cast light on that darkness, even those we think might oppose us, even those who laughed at us, even those who might have tried to imprison us, will see that every living being deserves to be safe, to be happy, and to be free. It is a Buddhist mantra that people have repeated for thousands of years, and we will repeat it until the day that we die. So Sprouts, Smithfield, even the state of Utah, as you try to suppress disinformation, imprison our friends, torture our animal brethren who live in slaughterhouses and factory farms in darkness that was not created by them but by us. Just remember that truth. No matter how many shadows you cast on this world, no matter how many people you try to gag or imprison, no matter how many animals you've tortured and killed to date, when the world sees and hears this truth, it will change. Thank you very much.
That was one of DxE's co-founders, Wayne Chung, speaking about some of our biggest victories in recent, well, even in just the recent months So, of course, there was the Smithfield trial where Wayne and Paul were acquitted by a jury of 8 in Utah. And also, just this week, there was a new investigation of Smithfield released. DxE investigator Raven Deerbrook got footage for the first time from inside a slaughterhouse gas chamber in the United States, a first of its kind investigation in the United States, showing what some of these major companies, including Smithfield Foods, the world's largest pig-killing company, use to kill animals like Lily and Lizzie, who were rescued by Wayne and Paul in Utah. And that Utah farm, Circle 4 Farms, ships pigs all the way to Farmer John in Los Angeles, California, hundreds of miles without any air conditioning or warming in the cold, without much protection from the elements at all, just in these slaughter trucks with big holes in them so that there's at least air, so the pigs hopefully don't die on their way to be killed in a gas chamber. So for the first time, DxE has shared that footage just this week. For the first time, the public can see what happens to pigs like Lily and Lizzie if they survive long enough. Lily and Lizzie might not have ever made it there because they were so sick, but if they had somehow survived, very small chance of that, they would have just ended up at around 6 months old being gassed to death. And that's the kind of cruelty that companies still continue to call humane, and we need to call that out and say gassing someone to death is not humane. So thank you for helping us get that message out there. Eva is going to be playing some music here today, some call and response music, which is kind of like chanting, where there's a call and then the rest of the group responds, but with singing. So if you haven't seen that before, then stay tuned because it's really beautiful, really lovely. And please keep sharing. Please keep on asking any questions if you have them. I'd be happy to try to answer them. Just one more time for people who haven't heard, we are in Oakland, California, outside of Sprouts, and we're outside of Sprouts today because Sprouts is where DxE's slam poem protest happened 10 years ago.
Lights that won't turn off, straining eyes from bright and bright, craving sleep, just simple peace. You were thin by the glow of my headlamp. Little bugs crawled on your skin. There's no place to hide or to run to as our strangers filed in. After months and days of living, angry hands grab you like air. Did you fight against the faded? Did you still care? An orphan who birthed 7 orphans. You were lonely from your start. No surprise at being left behind in the dark. You had so much love for your children. Where'd you go when you died? Send it through me, and I won't sleep until they're free. We'll pass on to all your babies the truth of why you're gone. You would carry them out too if you could move. For those who cried without faith in rescue, they never knew pleasure or love. Never knew pleasure or love. Never knew pleasure or love. For those who died without faith in a rescue, they never knew pleasure or love. I'll sing a song, lay down a rose, and mark a grave. I'll speak the truth, I'll fight for you till there's a change. It starts with the funeral. Say a word for the fallen. Say the dopers of who they were. Promise they're not forgotten. Then build solid memorials out of at the funeral. Let's bring it straight to Congress. We'll promise to do our best, and we'll learn to do better. For those who died at the altar of profit, for people mistaken for things, for animals killed as a baby, for each angel robbed of her wings, for those who died without faith in a rescue and never knew pleasure or love. I'll sing a song, lay down a rose, and mark her grave. I'll speak the truth, I'll fight for you till there's a change. As your ashes spread around us, may they touch the furthest heart. May the loss of who we mourn here be the revolution start. May your children's cries be echoed from the walls of City Hall. May the hardest souls be softened by our call. May the hardest souls be softened by our call.
Eva, you wrote that song, right? So that was a song that Eva wrote. And Eva's an amazing songwriter, singer, activist. She was a longtime activist with DxE, or a long full-time activist with DxE. And now you can follow her incredible research work for the animal rights movement with Pax Fauna. P-A-X, Pax, F-A-U-N-A, Fauna.
Never turning back. Never turning back. I work for peace forever.
So now here's the call and response singing that I mentioned. Feel free to sing along at home too, so you can learn these call and response songs.
Gonna work for peace forever. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna work for liberation. I'm gonna work for liberation. I'm gonna work for liberation. I'm gonna work for liberation. Never turning back. Never turning back. To free them from their cages.
I'm curious if anybody wants to share what your favorite accomplishment or moment in DxE's first decade is. If anyone wants to share in the comments. I know it's hard to pick because we do so many things all the time, and it's been 10 full years of actions and rescues and community building and historic achievements for animals. But if there's something in particular that you want to share with people that really inspired you, that would be great to hear. Crystal says the dancing poop emoji. That was a nice moment of some levity amidst a really serious topic of environmental racism and horrible practices from the pig raising industry and others that spread manure into poor rural communities. Huge shout out to Eva for performing today. And the show is not over yet. We have Carla continuing to chant and more song coming, so stay tuned.
Killing is no kindness. It's not food, it's violence. Killing is no kindness. It's not food, it's violence. One struggle, one fight. Human freedom, animal rights. One struggle, one fight. Human freedom, animal rights. Animals feel pain. Just like us. Animals feel joy. Just like us.
So here's Eric. I'm just asking him why he's out here today.
Simply put, I'm here today because I will fight until every animal is free. That's a promise.
Thanks, Eric. Eric's on the protest team organizing powerful actions like this one. If you want to level up your skills as an activist, join a working group, get involved in organizing with DxE, then please go to dxe.io/join and find out how you can join or start a chapter of your own.
Freedom for all. Liberation for all. Liberation for all.
And here's DxE's
So,
lead
25
organizer,
years ago,
Almira Tanner.
My best friend at the time asked me a question that really changed my life. She said, if you love animals so much, why do you eat them? And I was a child, so I didn't have all of the rationalizations spelled out in my head. And so when I thought about it, I asked myself, yeah, why do I eat them when I love animals so much? And it was really as simple as that. And so I went home and I told my parents I wasn't going to eat animals anymore. And they were pretty supportive, but they probably thought it was a phase. But it wasn't. It stuck. And that moment in my life has led to a series of other moments that bring me here today. And in a sense, it really is that simple. But I'm not going to lie to you. The situation we find ourselves in is incredibly complex, and I don't have all the answers. I don't know exactly what it is going to take to tear down the thousands of factory farms and slaughterhouses in this country, to replace the testing on animals that we do, to build farms that grow plants in a way that is sustainable for our planet, that treat workers well, that is accessible for people to buy, even if they don't have a ton of money. Like, those are incredibly complicated questions that I don't have all of the answers to. But the thing is that I don't need to have all of the answers because I'm not going to solve this problem on my own. But we can solve this problem together. And I think it starts with always remembering why we're here. Why we're here is because we understand that other animals are individuals just like us. They feel pain, they suffer, they want to be with their families, they want to live, but they also have the capacity to experience joy, to be happy, to run free, to experience life. And some people really do not want to hear that message. But I think most people understand when you ask them, do you think that animals should be treated well? Do you think that they should be respected and given freedom and rights? Most people say yes, and most people are on our side. So I think at the end of the day, when we remember why we're here, we can take this incredibly complex problem of what we are going to do to save this incredibly messed up world and remember that it is because we care about justice and freedom and autonomy for everybody. But caring about justice and caring about animals can be really isolating. And once my friend asked me that question 25 years ago, I didn't really do anything about it because I didn't have any power. And frankly, I just kind of got mad at a lot of people and thought that there was nothing that I could do as an individual to change the world. There was nothing I had in my own power to do anything. And the reality is I was kind of right. As an individual, I don't actually have that much power. And we say you can go vote with your dollar and shop with your conscience. But the reality is that this system is so messed up that what you buy almost doesn't matter because the government is funding millions and billions of dollars into animal exploitation. What you can do as an individual, I admit, is really limited. But then I'm reminded of this really famous quote by a climate scientist that I can't actually remember who it is, and I apologize. But someone asked him, what can I, as an individual, do to stop climate change? And his answer was, stop being an individual. Join other people, take collective action, because that is literally what it has taken to change this society so many times before. It wasn't just individual people, it was people coming together to build organizations and networks and communities who took collective action.
And that is how we will change the world. It's how every other change that we have seen that we so desperately needed has happened. It's ordinary people getting together in the grassroots and taking action together. Because individually, it's right, we don't have that much power, but together we are strong. And that's why I'm so incredibly happy to be here today, even knowing how far we have to go. Because I remember everything that we have done collectively. We banned fur in Berkeley, and then San Francisco, and then a year later in the entire state of California. We were the first city in Berkeley in the United States to say that eventually the city council would transition to 100% plant-based purchases, and they would not spend any more of their taxpayer dollars on animal products. We got the first factory farm and slaughterhouse moratorium introduced in the state of California, something that had never happened before. And we brought back direct action and open rescue to the United States and rescued hundreds of animals, pigs and chickens and dogs and turkeys and fishes, all of these animals who live free directly because of our own hands. And when the state and the FBI and all of these police officers and district attorneys and attorney generals came after us, we did not back down. We went to trial and we won. And we're going to win again this year. We have at least 3 trials where people are going to go on the stand and say that, yes, I took those animals from that slaughter truck or from that farm. But you know what? It wasn't a crime. It was the right thing to do. And a jury of our peers are going to agree with us. Because at the end of the day, I think people understand that animals are individuals, that they are not property, that they have the right to be free. And so if you are listening to this and you feel like you care about these issues, but you don't know what to do as an individual, I would say stop being an individual. Take action, because that is how we are going to change the world. What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
What an inspiring talk from Elmira Tanner.
Are we going to get it?
We are so lucky to have her as our lead organizer since 2019.
And when do they need it? Are we going to?
And if you are watching this and you're feeling inspired and you feel like that talk resonates with you, if you are wondering what can you do as an individual, certainly doing some things as an individual is better than doing nothing. Okay, there's not really a good excuse to do nothing because there's always something that you can do. Even if it's small, even if it is caring for 1 animal or 2 animals in your life, that makes a huge difference for them. But another way to look at that question is stop being an individual and find a group, even if you have to join online, even if the group near you in person is pretty small. Don't just focus on those obstacles. Find a way to take action with a group, because the inspiration and the hope comes from taking action. Even if you don't feel it enough right now to take action, when you start taking action, when you get out of bed, when you find some people who want to do things with you, and when you speak up and you do what you know is right, hope and inspiration and motivation follows. So I think that's a wonderful message to get out there and find a group and take action. Paul's giving some instructions over here. I'm not sure. I think it's a group photo. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining this action online. I wish you could be in the photo. I wish we had a Zoom screen or something we could pop you all in. We've done that before at some actions where we projected the people who were with us online onto stores and slaughterhouses and even had speak-outs from online. But today you can help by sharing on the live stream, helping us get this message out there, and by hopefully being inspired to speak up and continue to fight for animal liberation in whatever way you can, whether that's protests at grocery stores or outside of grocery stores or banners outside of grocery stores, or just by talking to your friends and family or meeting with your legislators, making calls to your legislators, working on so many behind-the-scenes tasks that are needed in groups. If you do join a group, if you do get involved with a group, there's a lot of different needs out there. There's a lot of things that are needed. So what's something that you like to do? What's a skill that you have? What's an interest that you have? Find a way to put that into... No worries. Find a way to put that to use for animals or other issues that you care about. Does anybody have any questions about the protest or about DxE's first decade?
Ronnie, you want to take a
This is a good angle of the full banners.
If everybody could hold their placards up for Ronnie's clip, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Ronnie here is taking a behind-the-scenes role. He's one of the co-founders of DxE. He's here documenting the protest on his phone, getting video and photo for social media for future posts.
All right, thanks everybody so much. Big thanks to everybody that spoke out, everybody that read a line of the poem. It worked out great in there. It was a little jumbly, but it was great. It looked awesome from an audience perspective. So if people want to just start folding the banner in towards each other.
I'm just going to ask a couple people why they are here today for this.
We'd just like to ask: is this anybody's
10th
first protest,
anniversary
like,
protest?
direct action everywhere? Oh wow, awesome, nice. You waited 10 years, but you're here now, so thank you so much.
Does anybody here want to share why you're here at the protest?
Hey, what's your name?
Or you want to share?
Thanks,
Anybody?
Tiffany. All right, well,
Okay.
everybody, so the next location is 1.3 miles away. I'm going to walk if anybody wants to. They can do that too, or you can drive as well, whatever you want. It's only Cummings, 4799 Shattuck Avenue. And Kitty and Rocky are there.
Okay, here, use this mic.
I am involved with DxE for I think past 8.5 years, and the reason is that I realized, especially the kind of the double standards of my own culture, and I didn't want it to side with that. I wanted to take one side, and of course this is the true side, so I stuck with it. Yep, thank you.
Thanks for being here for this big day. See you at the party, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So like I said earlier, there's also a 10th birthday party happening today. So, hi Tess, can I ask you how long you've been in DxE and what keeps you involved?
I can't talk right now. I'm so sorry.
No worries. I put you on the spot. Jordan, what about you?
What?
How long have you been in DxE and what
About 4 years now.
Nice. Anything you want to say about why you're here today?
I don't know, I'm just here because I want to celebrate the 10-year anniversary, and it's kind of, DxE's kind of ended up consuming my life. So, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
See you at the party. Let's see. What about Susie or Priscilla? Do either of you want to share how long you've been in DxE or why you're here today? Do you want to share why you're here today?
Oh, why I'm here? Yeah, I'm here because I find the suffering that we inflict on animals, particularly in factory farms, it's intolerable, it's unacceptable, it's unjust.
How long have you been involved in DxE now?
I think 3-4 years now.
Nice. That's awesome. The time just flows by. Thank you so much. Cool. Tonya, do you want to share on the live stream why you're here today or how long you've been in DxE? I'm just asking.
I've been in DxE about 5 years, and I got the honor of writing the press advisory about this action, and so I watched the video of the very first disruption of a sprouts down the peninsula where this same poem was read that we said today, and it was really moving just to see that 7 people boldly did this thing that wasn't being done then, and just was really startling to people, and they were kind of shaking people out of they got yelled at, and they're actually making people realize that that those are bodies behind them, not just meat. And then the video continued, and as Wayne was walking out of the sprouts and talking to the camera person, who I think was Ronnie, he was talking about his overarching goal for the organization, for the network. And he said, we just want everyone everywhere to know that they can do this, that they can speak up and they can do the same kind of action. And it was so moving to me to watch it, because I realized, like, he set that goal and it really happened. He made it happen. There are chapters all over the United States and all over the world, DxE chapters, taking bold action like this and calling people out of their societal brainwashing about what we do to animals and making them realize that they have the power to do something together.
But we all made it happen. You made it happen.
Yeah,
You made it happen.
yeah. I mean, I'm very proud to be part of DxE, and I feel like I've been empowered and realized my own power through being part of DxE, and I'm so grateful.
And you made it work by helping PETA with a disruption just a few days ago, too. You're putting your training to use. Thanks, Tonya. Hi, I'm on the live stream, but I've been asking people who've been around in DxE for multiple years, and I know this is your second event. But do you want to say why you're here?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so thank you for inviting us. And, this is my first time at the protest, and I was very moved. I think that this is such an important cause, and I'm very, very grateful to have the opportunity to, we've been thinking about this for so long that it's just so sad that the animals are struggling and suffering, and we're just silently, not doing anything. And it was so exciting for us to discover that there's a group that's actually doing something and that has actually successfully made an impact already. And so we're thrilled to be part of it. And thank you. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for, doing what you're doing. And
Thank you for being here.
yeah. And I hope that, we can contribute as we participate in more events. It was really wonderful. Thank you.
Coming to the party, too?
No, I have guests, but I'll come next time.
Next time.
Is there another something next Saturday?
Yes, every Saturday at 11.
We'll join, yeah.
Awesome. Hi, did you all want to say why you're here at all? I just asked your dad. It's okay if not. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, because we love animals, and I think it's very important to make others understand that this is an important movement, because we're basically trying to bring more peace and love into society, and it really starts with caring for every living being. Everything that lives and breathes, it has a right for love, to be able to enjoy life, and that's it.
I think she said it well.
Yeah, you both said it well. It's awesome that your whole family's out here together. Yeah, bye-bye. So from the old to the new, there's folks who've been around. There's Wayne right there since the very beginning, and Ronnie and others here. And there's folks who just got involved this week, and that was their first protest. So it's always exciting to meet new people and to help people become activists. And I would love to meet you at an event sometime, or see you again at an event sometime, and to help you get comfortable as an activist and find roles that are fulfilling for you. So yeah, check out dxe.io/events, dxe.io/events to see our upcoming events. You can also filter it by chapter, so if you're not in the Bay, you can see if there's a chapter near you, and if they have upcoming events. I think it's automatic, actually. Our tech team set it up, I believe, to where it can tell where you are from your computer. Kind of creepy if you give your computer that permission, and it can show you what chapter is near you if there is one. But yeah, I would love to see you all at something sometime. I'm going to get going here for the party. There's going to be tacos and cake and a panel with DxE's co-founders and a trivia game to see who knows the most about DxE's history and current DxE. And an art gallery that Alex Santurio put together, and all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm really excited for the party. And happy birthday, DxE! Thank you, everybody, for being a part of it and celebrating with us. And keep taking action for animals. Talk to you all soon.